So it's the grand finale, and I think we're ready to go. So I'm really happy to see all of you guys here. And thank you to all of you for joining SafeHack 2021. I think it's been quite a ride with all of the times that we've touched base. You guys have had a lot to say. You guys have contributed a whole lot as well to the hackathon. And I think we're all looking forward to seeing each other's solutions. So we're going to get started, and the things that we're going to go through in the session is firstly some house rules, just so that we're all on the same page in terms of things we should and shouldn't do while other teams are presenting. The other thing is, obviously, we will be introducing the judges. So judges, when it comes to that point, I'll give each of you a chance to just give a short introduction of yourselves so that everybody can have visibility of who you are. If possible, please just switch on your camera, say hi to everyone, and give them a few words of encouragement. And then also, we'll be going through the teams. So the teams in terms of the order that you guys have been put in and the order that you guys will be presenting. So please make sure that you are online and that you are ready to present when your team is called out. All right, so let's move on to some house rules. All right, so I am aware that we still do have a few participants that might need to join. So I think what we'll do is we will just put these rules on Slack as well so that everybody does have visibility of that. So please, guys, let's respect one another. If your team is not presenting, please mute and turn off your video unless you are asked to do so. And please feel free as well to engage in the chat. Okay, if you want to give thumbs up, if you want to give a round of applause, feel free to do that and interact on the chat, but please keep it good, I think is the word. No mean comments, guys, no bashing one another, please. Please, let's stay respectful at all times. And what is being said as well is that if you do have a question to ask, you can raise your hand, but I think it might be the judges that will have a lot of the questions to ask in this session specifically, but please feel free, as I've said, to engage and interact in the chat function. Another thing as well, for all social media activities, please use hashtag SafeHack 2021. We have been seeing you guys all over the social media platforms, and thank you for that. That means that there's a lot of word that is getting out for people that might not have been able to participate this year, but will definitely look forward to it next year. Ooh, I've lost the slides. So I will just continue talking while we're getting that back up. So in terms of no hacking of other contestants' projects, laptops, or devices. So thank you, guys. We haven't had instances that we are aware of from that perspective. So thank you for that. And teams have submitted their documents for submission. So hopefully everybody has then submitted and their team names are up on the slides. So from the team's perspective, here is the order that the teams will present. All right, so first we've got Clean Code Solutions, then we've got the Cyber Ninjas, then we've got Cybertech, then we've got Dino, then we've got Goat1, we've got Just Dev, we've got Lemzozo, we've got Soul Hacker, we've got Umbrella, and then we've got the Woos. And then, as are aware, there was a CTF challenge that was running concurrently. So we will have presentations from the CTF teams a bit later on as well in the hackathon. Please do stay on for that. And something else that I will say is if you do not see your name this list, but you have submitted your documentation or are having issues with that, please contact us on the Slack page and we'll see how we work about that. So what I'll say as well is, while another team is presenting, if you know that your team is next, please make sure you get your presentation ready. Or if only one team member is online, please make sure to let your other team members come online as well, in case they are the ones that are able to answer the Q&A from the judges. And another thing as well, confirmation is that only the judges will be asking the teams questions, right? So any questions that you guys ask the teams, they might be able to answer you afterwards, but it won't form part of the judging criteria, right? What I'll do is when I do call out a team, I'll call out the team that is next to present, and I'll call out the team that is following that so that you know you're next in line. Is everybody happy with that? And maybe I'll pause there for questions if anybody needs clarity for how. Great, no questions. So just to give you a refresher of the of what the judges are looking for. Okay, so we are at the end right now, and we're assuming that you guys have kept in mind the judging criteria from the SafeHack perspective. And if we can go on to the next slide, what we're looking for is the scenario of defense in terms of what are you defending and what have you developed your solution for, in terms of which future threats could occur that you have addressed, localities that you guys have addressed in your presentation. So whether that's you showing your scans that you've done at the beginning and the end, or your understanding of the vulnerabilities and how you've addressed that, and also a demonstration of that. That's really important. Which speaks to the next point as well, the demo of your solution. And also where you have included security throughout the development process from a compliance perspective, whether you or not you've made consideration to cyber laws based on the solution that you have developed, and also for your presentation. So your presentation should be appealing, easy to understand, and it must demonstrate how you've addressed the actual requirements of this hackathon. So we've gone through the criteria quite a number of times, and this was just a refresher because we are at the end. So everybody has submitted their demos and solutions. And I guess now we can get onto meeting the judges. Right, so judges, if you guys can just put your cameras on, and I guess we'll start with you. Okay, Sean's got his camera on first. So Sean, if you can give yourself, if you can give a bit of an intro of who you are, and yeah, let's take it away.
Yeah, great guys, thanks so much. So I'm Sean Howell. I'm the managing director at Redshift Cybersecurity. Kind of been a penetration tester my whole career. That's my background.
Okay, thank you so much for that. Steve?
Yes, I'm Steve Jump. I'm managing director at Custodial Advisory Services, specializing in all things cyber and business risk related, coaching, mentoring, architecting, designing, and troubleshooting. And hopefully I have been able to share some of that with the few teams that actually asked me for help today. And I hope I didn't steer you any wrong leads.
Thank you so much for that, Steve. Dane? I think Dane, I saw Dane dropping off. Back. Great.
I came back. Yeah, no, my Wi-Fi is just restarting, obviously, at the worst moment. Hey, everyone. So my name is Dane. I'm a pen tester at Orange Cyber Defense. And I've helped out with some of these before. Some of you will have seen I gave the intro on that yesterday. But basically, I do pen testing, doing the stuff that you guys are trying to learn a little bit now. And I really just want to be able to help, give you guys any kind of guidance on how to do this.
Thank you so much, Dane. So I don't know if you guys know this, but Murphy's Law. Yes, Murphy's Law and IT, they have a pact, right? So obviously, if something will go wrong, if there's a possibility that something will go wrong, it will go wrong. And in tech, it's definitely more often than not at the most critical time. So don't worry, Dane. That just verifies that this is a real tech event. Something has to go wrong. We've got Nathan on the line as well. Nathan did mention that he has some connectivity issues as well, so he might not be able to switch on his camera, but he can definitely say a few words.
Hi guys, so I hope y'all can hear me because I'm coming to you from all the other way across the planet. I'm in Southeast Asia at the moment, and I'm the CEO and founder of Snow Technologies, which is a cyber defense firm based in Centurion. Looking forward to seeing your guys' work, and I just want to wish all the contestants good luck.
Thank you so much for that, Nathan. So, Saho as well, all the way from Botswana, do we have you here on the line?
Yeah, I'm here. Hi, guys. I'm Mr.
Okay, thank you
Romangwane.
so much.
Hi, guys. I'm Mr. Romangwane, the founder of InTech organization. It deals with some quite tech problems and stuff. I'm a master's holder in physics, degree holder in mathematics, and did agriculture.
Thank you so much. So, guys, I'm just going to recap this one more time as we get into the presentation. So we do have an order that the presentations will be going, that we'll be taking. I think we'll share this as well, but we'll also take it as it comes. So right now we've got Clean Code Solutions. You will be the first to present. And then you can have time to sit back and watch everybody else, right? So please remember at the beginning of your presentation, say your team name and also mention which province you are from. So Clean Code Solutions, please get your presentation ready. And Cyber Ninjas, please know that you are next. So please have your presentation ready so that when Clean Code Solutions is done, you guys are present as well. Clean Code Solutions, do we have you on the line?
Yep. Yep.
Great stuff. So please get your presentation ready. We'll be patient with that. As you can start displaying. And judges, are you ready? This is Clean Code Solutions. So before you start, I will get, let me set the timer. So just to repeat, everybody gets 6 minutes to present and 4 minutes for Q&A. Do you have your presentation up, Team Clean Code Solutions?
Yep. Can you see my screen? Oh, I think it's coming now.
It's coming up. It's coming up. Ah, this is so great to see. I'm really excited, guys. I don't know if you are as well. Please don't forget to give your silent applause in the chat. Let's engage. Let's be interactive. Let's post. Our minds are about to be blown away. So you've got the slot of lucky number 1, and please put your presentation in presentation mode, and then I will start to count you down, and you can start.
All right. So.
Oh, sorry. Yes,
No, that's fine. Thanks, Diami. Thanks, Jay. You can continue.
Oh, okay. Okay, so it looks like we're ready, and you can start in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's go.
All right. So my solution is called Shamrock Vault, and what the application does is that it enables employees to share files in a secure manner. I'm sure a lot of people have found themselves in a situation where they had this very sensitive spreadsheet or a Word document, and you just wanted to get it through to your teammate, but you didn't know what was the safest channel. You didn't want it to be stuck in an email forever because that might get hacked or so on. And you weren't too sure if you could trust not a library, but a cloud storage solution such as Google Drive or something like that, unless you have your Microsoft environment set up properly with the other member. But then if you ever find this application actually makes it easier to solve that problem because it is a dedicated place for you to manage those kind of scenarios. So I've basically just described that first slide. Now, what the measures I've taken to try and alleviate vulnerabilities is that I've applied or planned to apply the best coding practices and to use trusted authorization techniques, and that being the Microsoft Identity Framework. And then the manner in which we handle these messages is that you specify which team members you would like to receive the file or message, and then once that's done, and once they've viewed the message, then it gets disposed from the storage location, and it also gets removed from the database. So it only exists on your machine and on the recipient's machine and nowhere else. And then that's point number 4. And then for compliance, for compliance, so I believe by the POPIA standards, we are not allowed to include 3 identifying fields that are not encrypted in a database. So to manage that, what we've done is we've only taken very minimal information about the user so that we don't have to worry too much about protecting their information. So currently we just have a username, an email address, and a password, which is hashed anyway. And then that email gets validated against your company's authorization or your company's communication channel. It's normally just an email address, which is linked to your Active Directory account. So that will do just fine. And then the messages that you would be sending to your team members would be encrypted. So they only get decrypted at the point of reading and so on. And then the passwords are obviously hashed based off the Microsoft Identity Library. And then the frameworks and libraries that I've used is the .NET 5 framework, and it's just .NET 5, and then Blazor and SQL Server Express, and I've applied a bit of Microsoft Identity Framework. Well, that gave me a bit of issues, but it's coming along just fine so far. And then the modules that the users will be interfacing with would be login registration, user management, which is an admin functionality, and then the messages. The workflow that the people would follow is you would need to register, and then an administrator would confirm your credentials, and then you can then go on to sending and receiving messages. And then those messages would be encrypted, and once the message is received, it gets disposed. And the one thing which I thought of recently was that to prevent external parties from maybe forging an account, adding special characters that might look like an existing email, we can use the machine itself to validate whether the email is valid or not against a database of existing emails that are recognized by the company. That's a new thing that I recently thought of. And then the principles that I've applied is object-oriented analysis and design. I've applied to the best of my capabilities the solid design principles. I've used dependency injection and the asset principles for my database management. And for the front end, since I'm using the Blazor by Microsoft, I've decided to use this base class design pattern because that also allows you to isolate some of your logic from the UI itself. And then these are just some of the screenshots to show some of my code where I'm applying dependency injection in my controllers. And this is a sample of one of my interfaces. And then the database structure is basically the identity tables that come when you start your identity.
Time. Unfortunately, we've reached the 6-minute slot.
Can I get another minute to show you
So,
just the UI or something like that?
judges, are you okay with allocating 1 minute and then leaving 3 minutes for Q&A?
Yeah, I'm okay with that.
Oh,
All
right.
right.
So
So
the
1 minute, let's go.
Yeah, so sorry. So the plan was to have that messaging functionality ready, but then I actually ended up struggling a lot with just getting the registration part, and then I figured the competition is security oriented, so I focused my attention on that. So for a user to see some of the existing menu items, they need to register, and then you get to the login screen. And once you're there, it then makes some of the other functionality available to you. And then this is where you would see some of your team members. But this is now on the administration section. So when an administrator logs in, he or she can then assign that user to a specific role, being user or administrator, and then setting their account to active. Then once that's done, that person can then log in using their username and password, which they've created when registering. I've not activated this yet because there's one of two ways I can handle it. I could either remove that account immediately from permanently from the database, or just flag it as inactive. But I'm still in 2 minds about that. And then this would be the messaging section, which I have not yet gotten to yet, but I've planned the database.
Time.
Ready? Thank you.
Time. Okay. So before we do get into the Q&A, Cyber Ninjas, you're next. Please get your presentation ready so that when we call you, you are ready. So judges, I'm going to hand over to you. And as soon as you start asking questions, I will start counting down for the 3 minutes. Ready when you are.
Okay, I have a quick question. In terms of user registration for the sender, quite happy with that. Assuming that you are sending it to an email address with your document in, how do you validate the identity of the recipient?
Oh, so I have this. So in my database structure, there's this table. When you send a message and the message gets written to the messages table, and then I also map that message to a message receipt table, which then specifies the user identity or user ID, and then whether the message is received or not, the message ID, and also the unique ID for that recipient.
Just a quick one. How have you validated that user identity against the email address? Or is that separate?
Yeah, that would be separate. Oh,
okay.
It can only be one.
That's enough. You've answered my question.
Alrighty.
Dane, you can ask a question.
Yeah, I just wanted to ask, for how long after a message has been sent is it available on the system?
Oh, there's on the message itself, there's a field for the message life in seconds. So if the user does not open it for that lifetime, then it will get disposed. Eventually, it will get disposed automatically as well.
And
But yeah, sorry.
sorry, man, I don't. These voice calls, it's so easy to talk over one another. What does disposed mean? Like, do you destroy it or do you make it inaccessible?
I remove it from the database and also remove the file from the physical location. Then it only exists on the sender's and the recipient's machine.
Cool, thanks. Sean, I think you were next.
Yeah, hey Shani, thanks. Have you got a password policy? Did you enforce password requirements?
So currently, I didn't really get to that, but it should be something that is easily configurable on the Microsoft Identity platform.
Okay, and then
But
another
yes.
quick follow-up one. How would you defend the login page? So if you had strong passwords, what else could you use?
Well, the one thing which I thought of at this point was that confirmed flag. So that can only be a user cannot log in if their account has not been authorized yet or confirmed yet. That's the one thing I've implemented so far.
Okay, go for it, Nathan.
Thanks, Sean. Tell me, you mentioned that you encrypt the data in transmission, but have you been encrypting the data at rest? So do you, my documents or my message, is it encrypted in your database?
So the message I plan to have encrypted, it's just the file that I'm not too sure of because that might get lost. But the message definitely.
All right. And
okay,
that
thank
was
you.
time, guys. Thank you so much. That was time. So I think that was a great presentation, a great way to start the presentations for this hackathon. Really well done, Shoni. I'm really proud of you. And the judges had a lot of questions, so that shows that, yep, you kicked some beep. So I'm going to give the judges a few minutes just to finalize their scoring. And in the meantime, can we please have Cyber Ninjas putting up their presentations so that you're ready to go when we call you? Team Cyber Ninjas, are you online? Great stuff. Please put your presentation up. Let's just give the judges a minute just to wrap up. Judges, please just give me a thumbs up in the chat when you're ready to go. Some serious thinking going on there. That's really good. All right. So we're just waiting for 3 more judges just to wrap up. We should give them the time, right? This is really important. We don't want to not have enough time to allocate proper judging. All right, so I think that's everybody. So thank you, Team Cyber Ninjas, for being on your feet and being ready with your presentation. Team SciTech, you are next. So please have your presentation ready so that when we call you out, you are ready to go. Take some tips from Cyber Ninjas. They did it really, really well. So if you guys know that the team SciTech, and if you see that they are not online, please do give them a shout. Team Cyber Ninjas, I'm about to count. Get ready to start. I just want a thumbs up from you. Are you ready to go? I can see your presentation. I can't hear anybody.
Okay, we are ready to go.
Perfect. Alrighty then. So you can start in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's go.
Good day, everybody. I would like to introduce my team, Cyber Ninjas. We're hacking from the Eastern Cape. I would like to introduce Letu, who's an ICT student, app developer at Durban University of Technology. She's our dev. And then Lily, who's a software quality engineer. She is our business analyst. We've got Siba, who is a business system student at Rosebank College. He is our dev. And we've got myself, Iviwe, who was an ICT entrepreneur and a research and project manager for the hackathon. The problem, South Africa is ranked second in the world against spamming. South Africa is ranked second worst spam country in the world. When we look at the stats, you can see there that 144 people are spammed 144 SMSs are sent to spam every month, which means that people are getting 4 SMSs per day. Who are getting spammed are job seekers. They're the most vulnerable to fake SMSs. Where South Africa saw a 2.2 million job loss due to the COVID pandemic in the year 2020. Government departments are also getting targeted from these spams, where we saw the president actually reinstating the 350 Rand grant. So our solution to this problem is introducing a host intrusion detection system, which analyzes, scans incoming SMSs in real time, it flags a threat and notifies SMSs. We leverage on AI, machine learning. We leverage on repositories. We leverage on AIPs.
Hello, everyone. I will use Iviwe's mic because I'm showing the presentation. So I will take you through our flow chart. I will now take you through our flow chart, which takes you through a user journey, which the first block is the input. So now, where is the input? Where does it stand the most risk? It would be the register and the OTP verification functionalities. And the security measurements that we have considered are the ones listed below. The second process is where now the SMS notification is received. So the app was mostly vulnerable, where now it starts to detect and flags the SMS and then updates the database. So now the security measurements that we have considered are the ones listed below to then address those threats that would then come along the decision-making process, which is the detection, the flagging, and the updating the database. Now, the output is the last step, which is where now the output is generated and displayed to the user. So what we want to do here is to make sure that we apply application patching, which is where we constantly update our system. And then the second one is where we now apply security testing using applications such as ZEP, Selenium, and Test Project. So the second screen is where now you will see what the mockup will actually look like with references to the security attempts that we have addressed on the flowchart that I just showed. So we've addressed the POPI Act, the service agreements on the register screen, the verification of the account, the confirmation of the service user agreement, and the third screen, which is the notification, and it shows how the application will then display to the user when the threats have been received. So I will now hand over to my teammates to finish up.
Hi everyone. So I will be showing you the back end of the whole app. So I'm just going to quickly run my app. We have used machine learning for training our data, and we used Windows Forms to do so. So I'm just going to get the data that we have trained. So if it is true, that means that it's definitely a spam. So let's just test if it is a spam. We will paste that message in there. We will predict. And then it says that the gotcha prediction says this is indeed a spam message. And then it asks you, do you want to block this number? Of course you want to block the number that's sending you spam messages. So yes. And then let's just test another one that has to do with a hackathon. So now there's this message that's asking you, how is the SafeHack 2021? You predict the data, and then it shows you that this SMS is not a spam, and then it asks you want to block this number. It's your choice if you want to block it and if you find it annoying. But in this case, it's not a spam, so we will say no. And our application will stop, and we have detected the spam. And now we'll pass it over to my fellow developer.
Okay, greetings everyone. So the security measures, one of the security measures we'll be using is the Caesar cipher to actually encrypt the comments in the code so that only the developers will be able to understand what's going on should a hacker manage to get through to the code. So we also make use of IDS, intrusion detection system.
Time.
Can I just finish off?
So 1 minute to finish off, judges, is that fine? And then reducing questions to 3 minutes.
Okay, thank you. So intrusion detection systems, which will be part of our solution that will discover any threats before they fully infiltrate the system by analyzing and identifying patterns that show a range of cyber attack types. And also intrusion prevention systems, which is a form of network security that works to detect and prevent identified threats. Should an intrusion take place, the IPS will report these events to the system admin and close access points and configure firewalls to prevent future attacks. So this is what we could get done in 24 hours, but we are planning on working a bit more on it. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you very much. That went really well. So I'm going to allocate the time for Q&A. Judges, when you're ready.
Yeah, maybe a quick one from my side, guys. Thanks. So on a mobile device, you often get sensitive data in the form of like internet banking OTPs, for example. How would you guys handle that from a privacy perspective on the app?
Okay, so upon research, we've checked that when people get OTPs, they are actually apps that listen to the OTP that you're receiving. So the one solution that we suggest for that would be to turn off or disable microphone related features prior to verifying any OTP related functionality.
How will AI assist in SS7 attacks?
Please repeat the question.
How will AI assist in SS7 attacks?
Okay, so AI, as we know it, is getting more and more, stronger as we are getting into the fourth industrial revolution. So, because SS7 is known to be the most deadliest attack of all, so using machine learning, it will help us detect that SS7 attack, but we do not know exactly the plugin that we will use or the extension that we use, as we are saying that the app is still in prototype mode, and we have come up with this so far in 24 hours, and we are looking forward to making it a stronger and much more usable app.
All right. Nathan, I see you have your hand up. Steve, you had your hand up as well. Is it gone?
The machine keeps turning my hand off. Nathan, go first.
No, you go for it, Steve.
Okay, I was just trying to work out, in terms of your trained data, where are you getting the information that is choosing spam, not spam? And would you, acquiring that data, be upsetting anybody who thinks they have copyright or have paid for delivery?
While the data that we use to train it is just the demo data. So what we use is the app only allows you to use the data in TXT file or CSV file. So we train the data with machine learning in Visual Studio, and it has a plugin that it has different services for text, analyzing the weather and such. So in this case, it will only analyze by detecting the first column, which was column 0, the label, and it detected if it was true or false. So if it was true, it was going to be a spam, and if it was false, it's not going to be a spam. The messages are not directly anyone's personal information. And as Leroko said, that we will look forward into working into making the app more safe and using APIs that will help it be more safe, and also OTPs.
Thanks.
Okay, cool.
Okay, that's time. So unfortunately, Nathan, for fairness, we won't be able to take your question. Sorry about that. So, okay. Judges, while you guys finalize your judging, Team SciTech, please get your presentation ready so that you are ready to present when we call you up.
And one comment for the Cyber Ninjas. Afterwards, if you're interested, talk to Isaka or me, and we'll explain what SS7 is.
Thank you very much.
All right, so I'm just going to give the judges a minute, and then I'll count you down, Team SciTech, and I hope you guys are ready and you've unmuted yourselves as well. Alrighty, Team SciTech, I am about to count you down, so please let me know that you're ready. Team SciTech, you're on mute.
Ready.
Alrighty, so please get ready to start in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's go.
All right. Hi, everyone. And we are Team SciTech. So we realize that the banking system or the financial sector is quite dedicated to protecting user data, and they do it very, very well. But we also realize that our users are not informed, educated, or aware of the risks that they're exposed to. And that is why we chose to focus on fintech, but the educational aspect especially. And just to kick off, here are some of the obvious facts that we know, right? So the fintech industry in South Africa is skyrocketing. It's doing really great things. But with that growth comes with a number of risks. And we also see that our users are not very educated when it comes to issues of cybersecurity, educating themselves, raising awareness, as well as best practices when they are on cyber environments. So this led us to identifying that there was an obvious gap between the bank and the customer, and that's where we come in as SciTech. So here are some of the risks that are associated with the banking sector, right? So you'd find that you have a lot of phishing incidents. There's a problem with brand trusting. So as soon as a brand in South Africa has established itself, users are more likely to trust anyone who calls them and says, I'm from X, Y, and Z, and so we need your details. We also have found that there are scare tactics that are being used by cyber criminals. And these could move all the way from asking a user if they've just done something, maybe on their banking app, and if the user says no, then they would say, do you know what, we detected something like this, so give us your details so that we can fix it for you. And before you know it as a user, you haven't got any money left in your bank account. And the last bit was that we also realized that there were very low literacy levels when it came to a lot of these things. So like I mentioned before, just being up to level and understanding best practices, safety on the net, as well as understanding how this whole system works. And so we know that in South Africa, or South Africans on any digital platform or device seem to be very trusting, like I mentioned before, which makes brand trusting a very big problem. And we've all got a phone call from an unconfirmed source claiming to be calling from a company group we may have an account with. I mean, at some point we all have, right? So this could have been from Edgar's, it could have been from Ackermans, it could have been from like funeral policy selling platform. And we've all received this. I once received one from One Life. And cyber criminals are implementing similar strategies to gain access to sensitive information. So they'll call you and they'll ask you for your information. And because of our problem of being trusting as well as not being very educated, we find that our users are giving in to these strategies, mainly because they might not even know what cyber criminality is, right? And something is making our users click on malicious links and freely give out their details. So these are some of the things that we know, and we need to find a way to solve them. These are just some of the statistics which show us that it's very, very easy to trick users into giving out personal information. And we believe as SafeHack that we're a step closer to our ideal human firewall existing in society. So our solution is very, very people-centric. We want people to understand security. We want them to know that their details are valued, and we want them to also feel very included as part of the solution and not only feel as though they're the consumer. And we want them to understand everything that's on the right-hand side, right? So the safety issues, them not feeling like they're part of, or them just feeling like they're a product or end user, right? And so we arrive at the moment that we've all been waiting for. I would ask for drum rolls, but here we are, introducing our solution, SafeSurf, empowering the human firewall. The whole reason why we went with this is because we wanted to empower the user with tools which allow them to take safety precautions as well as help the next person. And so this is essentially how our application works. We have, this isn't prototyping, obviously, we have a way of the user logging into our platform. We tell them a little bit about ourselves. We give them a little bit more information and why we're doing what we're doing, right? Because this platform is to not only allow users to check the links they interact with, but also to make sure that they have resources and articles available to them, which ties into the part about literacy that we're stressing so much. And so you'll find that we have a lot of articles, we have a lot of educational material, but we also have this functionality, which is the gold, because we allow a person who's received a link, maybe asking for their details, to come onto our platform and check if it is in fact trustworthy and if it's coming from a trustworthy source. And so you have SafeSurf. And this is essentially the brains behind the team. Thank you.
Time. So thank you for that. I was just making sure that we did actually exceed the time for presentation and it fitted perfectly. So thank you for that. Sean, I see you have your hand up with the question. So let's take it away, judges.
Yeah, thanks, guys. Great talk. How do you practically determine if a URL is malicious? Are you looking at domain reputation or think something like virus total?
We looked at a very basic, like the actual type of string, if it's HTTPS, if it's HTTP, if there were some weird characters in it like that.
Do we have any other questions from the judges?
No.
Yeah, I have a question. Does the user always need to type in the URL? How are they going to recognize that a link needs to be checked?
So in an instance where there's an SMS or a text message or an email that you've received, there would be obviously a way that you could paste the link directly into there and then check it like that.
Okay, thanks.
All right, judges, do we have any more questions? All right, so it seems like you've blown the judges away with a lot of explanations, not a lot of questions. Thank you so much, Team SciTech. That was really a great presentation. A lot of effort was put into that. Team Dino, are you on the line? Please put your presentation up so that you can get ready to present while the judges are finalizing their judging. And Team Goat1, please know that you are next. So get your presentation ready so that when you are ready to present. Team Dino, do you have your, we cannot see your presentation. Are you online? Team Dino, or is it Dino? Are you online? All right. Team Goat1, are you online? Guys, it's been going really well, guys. Please, let's keep the momentum going. Team Goat1, are you online? All right, then. Team sorry.
Yes, we're still having a network problem.
Which team is this? Team Goat1 or Team Dino?
Goat1.
All right, so will you then be ready to present after the next team?
Yes.
All right, perfect. So then Team Just Dev, do we have you on the line? Team Just Dev, do we have you on the line? Team Lemzozo, do we have you on the line? Team Lemzozo, are you on the line? Well, I guess they do say 3 is a lucky number, so we got 3 right at least. Team Soul Hacker, are you on the line?
Yes, I am.
Perfect. Thank you for saving us. Team Soul Hacker, please get your presentation up and I will count you down just now. Team Soul Hacker. There it is. Alrighty then. So please put your presentation in present mode, and I'm going to count you down. All right, we're ready for you in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Team Soul Hacker, let's go. You're on mute.
Okay. Is it fine now?
Yes, it is.
Okay, thank you. Okay, my name is Jabu Mahlangu and I'm from Mpumalanga in Gwandebele. So currently I'm studying Google Cloud Platform through the Google Africa Developer Scholarship. So another thing I should mention is that I've recently been in a program for the SUS Cloud Native Scholarship as well that just ended today. So my solution is around educating the users as well, just like the previous team. But now with my solution, it's a different compared to those teams because my solution is inclusive. So it includes every user, not just the financial sector only. So now what I have come up with is a solution that will detail a list of things that could actually make it possible for you to be hacked or for data breaches to happen. So I will quickly move to show you the demo, how like this solution works. So here we have the application. So it's called security checklist. So it has the checklist of all the things that could lead a hacker to hack you. So first we have the login screen, and then it's the sign up screen, and then comes the dashboard. So with the dashboard, we have a digital citizen, which is everyone who uses a device or who uses the internet, as well as a security professional. So there's also a checklist of the things like security professionals should consider when they are setting up their organization's security. So now here's the security checklist category. So now we have, this one is for security professional. So we have a checklist of SQL injection, broken authentication, misconfiguration, and then the patching of an OS, and then SSL certificates and fixing bugs. So this is what security professional will have a checklist of. So they will have to check if their system is not susceptible for SQL injection, is not vulnerable to broken authentication, misconfiguration, and patching OS, like check if the OS is updated, and then check if their sites have SSL certificate and they are not expired, and then they will fix the bugs that are reported by the users. So here is a checklist for, suppose that someone is using a computer for the first time. So these are the things they have to checklist to ensure that their device is secure. So they will have to have an administrator account. So if they if that is not checked, if they don't have a administrator account in place, Then there is a part in this application as well that will detail the risk that comes with not having an administrator password set, and there is also a walkthrough tutorial on how to set an administrator account on the system. Then they will move on to check another thing. So they check if the firewall is active. So again, if the firewall is not active, then they will have a walkthrough tutorial that will talk them through doing that through a video recorded with an OBS application. So they will have to go through all this compiled list of things, and then should they not find that they have these things in place, then they will go through the potential risk that comes with not having these things in place, and then they will go to watch that video that will walk them through. So this is the rest of the prototype. So here is where we detail like the risk that comes with if you don't have an administrator password, what could happen. So your sensitive data will be exposed to anyone that is not having an authorized. So this is another checklist. So this one is for a digital user. So they will have to check. They will have to check in these categories. Then when using emails, applications, and then their checklist is on this site. So this is the part where like you get the videos that will walk you through all there. That will walk you through how to set up those passwords, how to check your active firewalls.
That's time. All right. So are you ready for a Q&A, Team Solo Hacker?
Yes, I am.
All right. Judges, do you have any questions for Team Solo Hacker?
Yeah. Did you test any of these on yourself, on like your application and your system?
Sorry?
I just asked, did you test any of these on your system?
Oh, no, I haven't.
Okay. Sean, I see that you have a question.
And the reason why I have...
Sean, I don't know if you're mute.
Oh, sorry, guys. I was muted. Yeah, Joby, thanks. Did you use any resources or frameworks to determine what goes into the checklist? How did you arrive at that?
So I use the internet to check like the list of things that could lead a malicious hacker to be a success, to hack an application successful. So like you search that. So what happens if a person doesn't have a password? So like I went to security website, like, so check the things that leads to data breaches. Then I compile the information into that application and those checklists.
All right. Steve, I see you have a question.
Yeah, I've got one question for you, Jabu. You register a user when they start using your application.
Yes.
What do you use that data for?
Sorry?
What do you use that data for?
So the idea was not to include the login part. So it was because of the criteria of the competition. But the whole idea was just to have a checklist, and you just have the checklist, and those walk through tutorials and the information about the risk that comes with if you haven't checked like you haven't checked an item on that checklist. So the only reason I included the login screens like was because of the criteria of the competition, honestly.
Okay, thanks.
All right, judges, do we have any more questions for Team Solo Hacker? All right, so thank you so much, Team Solo Hacker. User awareness is definitely something important, and it's something that does contribute to the human firewall. Team Dino, you are next, so please put your presentation up so that I can count you down. Team Lemzozo, you will follow after Team Dino. Team Dino, are you on the line? This is the second call that we're doing for the team. So we said you'll present after the next team, which is now. So Team Dino, please put your presentation on. Team Solo Hacker, please stop presenting on your side. All right, Team Just Dev, thank you for that. Happy for you to put your presentation up. Judges, please be sure that's Team Just Dev that's going next. Team Just Dev, please put your presentation up and I will start counting you down. Team Solo Hacker, please stop presenting. Yes, Charlotte.
Oh, sorry, I thought it was just that, but I think it was Team.
Is it still on?
Yes, it is still on. Please click on stop presenting. There we go. Sorry, Charlotte, you were saying?
Sorry, I thought it was just that had said they were ready, but I think it was Team Goat.
Okay. Team Goat, please put your presentation up. Judges, just to align again, that's Team Goat that is going to be going next. Team Goat 1. Okay, please put your presentation into presentation mode. Alrighty, and I'm just counting it down in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's go. You are on mute.
We do apologize for that. We do apologize. Sorry about that. Can you see the screen?
Yes, we can. All right, you can.
Okay, perfect. So yeah, as I was saying, this is the greatest of all time team, and we are comprised of 3 people, which is myself, Mutsumi. I'm a network engineer student at Pearson. We have also Sihlem Zalose, who's also he's a researcher, and then we have Joseph Sinelo, who's a developer. Now the company, okay, the thing that we did, one of the things that we did is recon or footprinting, gathering information. This is known as passive recon. Now the company that we went for is Starbucks. And then the threats, the vulnerabilities that we've seen or that we that we've detected is broken authentication, sensitive data exposure, and broken access control. These are the vulnerabilities that we've identified on Starbucks. And now the problem, one of the biggest fears for development managers is not identifying a vulnerability in their web application before an attacker finds it. Now, web application vulnerabilities leave you sustainable to security attacks during vulnerable consumer and company data could be at risk. As a result, you will incur huge financial losses while your reputation suffers. So with the POPI Act, given the effects, let me just go to number 2, the regulating the manner in which personal information information may be processed by establishing conditions in harmony with international standards, provide persons with right and remedies to protect their personal information from processes that is not in accordance with this act. Now, here we're going to, this is how we're going to protect the users using our app. The users, they need to download the app. Then from there, they will then be promoted to input their domain name. In the app will then be able to identify the vulnerabilities or the attacks that they are most vulnerable to. And then how to solve the vulnerabilities. Now these, now this is one of the Google docking website things that we used to identify the threats within Starbucks. Now, number 1, we could get in. So this is just passive, heavy, forceful recon. So number 1, it's the site where we could go into the admin website and check out everything for admin. If we had a choice, we could do a forceful attack and then get into Starbucks, but we didn't choose to do that. And then number 2, we used the webcam 7 and then the URL domain name. We could check with the stores surrounding Starbucks, we could check Starbucks and gather information of how many people go into Starbucks. And then we also used the, what do we call this, Linux, the harvester code. We used the harvester where we could gather the IP addresses and everything from Starbucks. So now, how to solve after getting that, how to solve the vulnerabilities attack. Number 1, you need a long password. Hopefully, if 8 characters long, that will also help you. Number 2, for the cameras surrounding companies, they need to get an SSL. And then number 3, we need to get they need to migrate to object relating mapping tools. And now I'm going to hand it over to Joseph, who will demonstrate the app to you guys. Thank you. Share screen.
Yes. Can you see my screen?
Yes, we can.
Hello, can you see Joseph's screen?
Yeah. Yes.
And that is time.
Can you see my screen?
Yes, we can see your screen, but unfortunately you've reached time. So that was time, guys.
Okay, so this is the app
That
security
was time,
check.
guys.
So
hello.
So as he did mention, everything that will be on the
Sorry,
application, it includes website vulnerabilities, vulnerability report, access to the admin directory.
Sorry, Tepo. Tepo.
Okay. Tepo. Team members, can you guys please notify Tepo that firstly, he is on mute. And secondly, that time is almost up. Okay, so that was 28 seconds left of the additional 1 minute. Tepo or anybody else from Team Goat 1, are you on the line to answer the Q&A? Yes, well, I'm not too sure how to handle this. I just wanted to make sure that Tepo is on the line. Is anybody able to unmute Tepo?
Yes, I am.
Oh, okay. So we missed most of your the demo where you are allocated an extra minute. So we kept trying to let you know, but I'm going to just start the timer on the Q&A, and Steve has a question. So Steve, you can take it away.
Half question, half comment. Brilliant idea. Did you use your own tool on itself when checking for its vulnerabilities?
Yes, we did actually use our own tool on one of also our websites also that we developed.
Did it work?
Yes, it actually worked. It actually worked. We were able to find out vulnerabilities within our website since we were also using FreeHost as our hosting company. So we were able to check, okay, that was the vulnerability within our website.
Thanks.
All right. Sean, you have a question?
Yeah, hey Tsepo. Have you considered how people could potentially abuse this to target domains that don't belong to them?
I was thinking that maybe for all the users, they will have to click on agreement, terms and conditions, that if you use this thing for things that are illegal, we're not responsible for any of those since we developed this application for everyone to determine the vulnerabilities, and where possible, they can contact us and we can help them to solve some of their vulnerabilities and have a secured website or an application.
All right. Thank you for that. Dane, you have a question? I think you're on mute.
How will the application interface with other threat feeds for efficient threat detection?
Okay, so basically, our application right now the user will have to provide like the domain, and then it shows all the vulnerabilities, and then we use Linux in order to help them to solve some of the vulnerabilities and help them for their website to be secured. And yeah, we use some of the tools that are from on the Kali Linux.
All right. All right. So Dane seems to have a bit of a mic issue, but he's got his question in the chat and I'll read it out. Can a user run this directly or do you run it on their behalf?
The user can run the application on their own.
Alrighty then. Judges, we have time to squeeze in one more question if we do have one. Otherwise, we're approaching time very quickly. All right. Thank you so much for that presentation, Team Goat 1. And thank you for confirming your availability when you had it. Team Umbrella, please get your presentation up while the judges wrap up their judging. Oh. And then after that, we will have the woos. So Team Umbrella, while you get your presentation ready, the woos, please know that you are next to present. Okay, I'm just going to give the judges a few more seconds just to wrap up while you get your presentation up. Please make sure you're unmuted. Ha, nice hunch. All right, mode. And I'm about to count you down. Get ready in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's go.
Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone at the SafeHack and judges. My name is Lutando Mleche, and I'm the group leader for Umbrella. Umbrella is a startup which aims to ideate, problem solve, and come up with solutions which will have a greater impact on the continent of Africa. My teammates that have joined me today are Mr. Geekulcha, Kenneth Huate, Mr. Oratile Sibiting, and Mr. Geekulcha Sako. We are students at Soplake University studying in information and communications technology in application development. I will then pass our presentation outline will that be of our scenario, our vulnerabilities that we are defending against, our secure system development cycle, along with the cyber laws of the Papaya and our application demonstration. I'd like to pass it over to Mr. Kenneth Huate, who will go over our use case.
Can you hear me? Okay, thank you. We are developing the application for Dr. Marit, a general practitioner located in Kimberley, has instructed us to develop the patient consultation system, which will do away with the paper file backlog system. With his working hours being between from 7 p.m. to 9 p.m., the doctor sees his patients per appointment. Well, dwelling more into the security vulnerability, we were working on the broken authentication, broken access control, and injection. On the broken authentication, we used the OTP, and we have also used the email verification, and the verification link will be sent to the user. For a broken access, we have ensured that every certain information will be accessed by a certain individual. via user control. On the injections, to prevent the injection, we have made sure that we encrypt our database so intruders cannot write code or read from our database. Well, we also have ensured that certain information will be sent to the database due to input validation. Thank you. I'll give to my colleague.
Okay, thank you. Good afternoon. For the planning phase in the SDLC, we'll have to ensure security, gap analysis, privacy implementation through SDLC models. Requirements analysis phase will be involving questions about the application developers going through security training. To ensure security for the design phase, we'll have a code review and security design review and also vulnerability scanning. For testing phase, the application will need to be tested thoroughly. If any defect found, it will be handled by the developers. For the maintenance, that's when we are including the beta testing, and it is very crucial to balance security with application performance and stability. My colleague will explain further the POPIA laws. Thank you.
Okay, with regards to POPIA, and yes, of course, every type of company, regardless of size, sector, or location, so long as based in South Africa, needs to be compliant with the POPIA. Well, the POPIA simply explains a set of 8 conditions business must satisfy when processing personal information. Under accountability, we must make sure that the POPIA compliance is in respect to all personal information. Lawfulness, you must only collect personal information if it is adequate and non-exclusive. Purpose specification must only collect personal information for a specific purpose. Further processing limitations, we may only process personal information for further purpose if they are compliant with the reason you're collecting it. I'll pass it on to our group leader. Thank you.
Group leader, you're on mute.
Sorry, I would like to get into our demonstration due to time. We have the application here. We've been developing it throughout the weekend, in which this is the Dr. Marie application. First of all, delving into the broken user, the broken access control. We have 3 user controls for the patient, doctor, and administration, in which if a patient would like to create an appointment, they will hit into the patient prompt. As you can see, we have the validation. We validated all our inputs for login. I would like to demonstrate the registration. I will go with a name. Okay, I'll use my name. Next, the email address. Let's see. And a password. If I do not enter anything and I just continue and I hit register, I do have password validation, which I will.
And that is time.
Can I get 1 minute, please? I would like to just demonstrate the email verification.
All right.
Okay, thank you. There is a password policy. For strong password, you will need a mix of 1 uppercase, 1 lowercase, 1 digit, and 1 special case. So I'll just continue in creating a password. And very quickly, I'll just say it as none other. Yes, now we'll have to verify our email. We'll send a verification link to the email and it should pop. And also in the database we are using is, in fact, for our entire backend, we are using Firebase. Yes. We're using the Firebase authentication architecture. in which we're verifying our emails. Let's see.
And that is time. Do we allocate another minute and reduce Q&A to 2 minutes? All right, straight to Q&A.
Straight to Q&A.
Just give me a second.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Judges, do we have a question?
Yeah, I've got one, guys. Thanks so much. How do you deal with duplicate entries? You know, I'm kind of assuming that you can do a appointment booking with your doctor. What kind of protections do you have in place from people filling up a doctor's diary? And is a doctor actually linked to a patient at all?
Okay. To answer the duplicate for, are you referring to duplicate appointments being the same appointment, or duplicate registrations of the same name?
Both.
Okay. For the duplicate registrations, file-based authentication doesn't allow for the same email to be registered twice. So if I register again with the same email I just registered in, it will not accept that email. And as for the duplicate bookings, the patient does not have access to view like the doctor's diaries or the doctor's files. Hence why we are also defending against the broken access, in which only certain user information will be viewed by certain individuals, being the patient, the doctor, or the administration.
Right. Thank you for that. Dane, you have a question?
Yeah. Can you all hear me okay?
Yes, we can.
Fantastic. I just wanted to ask, earlier on you mentioned that you encrypt the database and you sort of went over that quite quickly. Can you just spend a few seconds just saying, like, how do you go about that? What is your implementation?
Yes. Due to time, we couldn't really show that. However, for our database, the encryption which we used was basically hashing of passwords, in which there is a method or function of code that we have in our source code, where we use the MD5 hash to hash our passwords. Hence that if an admin is going through the database, they won't be able to see the passwords of users, because that is it is information that can't be leaked out, because the admin should not be able to view passwords in that sense.
Thank you.
All right, Steve, we have time for one more question.
One more question. Hopefully it'll be a short one. Do you keep all your appointments, patient records, and customer details in the same database?
Yes, sir. It's all in the same database, but as different collections.
Okay, thanks.
All right, so you've answered that question just in time, as we just have a few seconds left. And there it is. So Team Lemzozo, are you on the line?
I'm on.
Perfect. Please get your presentation ready while the judges wrap up. And then next, we will have the woos. So the woos, you will go next after Team Lemzozo.
So yeah, can you see my screen?
Not yet.
Hey, can you see my screen now?
Not yet, Lemogang, sorry.
Seems like I'm having a problem here.
What is the problem that you're having?
No, like I can't turn on my screen.
Okay. Let's see if we have another team on the line who's ready to present in the interim, and we'll get back to you. So the woos, do we have the woos online? Oh, okay.
Yes. You see it.
Sorry about that, the woos. We'll wait for that yes after this presentation. So please put your presentation into presentation mode. I'm about to count you down. And you can go in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's go.
Yeah. Hello everyone. So my name is Lemohamadlo Lemzozo. So I built a three-factor authentication system. So I'm solving the problem of unauthorized access of user accounts. Disclosure of confidential, sensitive, embarrassing information can result in loss of credibility and reputation. People will be unable to access resources when they are needed, and it can cause a loss of productivity. Social media accounts are the ones who are affected the most. A lot of people get depressed when they discover that someone they don't know got access to their user account. So I decided to come up with this solution, building a three-factor authentication system. It's basically a login system that's more unique and more secure than other login pages that you are used to. It uses ordinary password and email or username and password, as well as your typing biometrics and your Face ID or your face identification. The three-factor authentication system is important because it's hard to perform cyber attacks on them. This three-factor authentication system is vulnerable to SQL injection. It uses cryptography hashing algorithms like SHA-256 for password hashing, but it doesn't mean that like there are people who can hack that, because they use these tools in Linux like Hashcat to turn those hashes into plain text. So the project is also vulnerable to sensitive data exposure and broken access control. I also decided to build a chatbot on the side to help random people to learn more about cybersecurity vulnerability. This chatbot, which I call Cyberbot, uses pre-trained machine learning models or transformers to answer any question that the user asks based on cybersecurity vulnerability. So this is the secure software development lifecycle of my project. So I'm using APIs on the requirements. I'm using typing DNA APIs and the Chill API, as well as the hashing algorithms. So when you go to the design, you find the sign up page, and under the sign up page, when you sign up, the typing DNA API is going to collect your typing data. And after it collects the typing data, you're going to be redirected to a page where you will need to authenticate your face. So these are the cyber laws and data protection laws of my project. Processing of special personal information. This is a general prohibition of the processing of special personal information. This information includes the health of sex life or biometric information of a data subject. The criminal behavior of a data subject to the extent that such information relates to the alleged commission by a data subject of any offense. So let me show you my demo. Can you see it?
Yes, we can.
So yeah, this is the sign up page. So normally when you sign up, you just enter your email address and your password. But this is actually unique because when you enter your username and your password, the typing DNA that's behind the app is going to collect your typing patterns. So let me just make an account right now. So I'm gonna call with lemon24@gmail.com. Notice at the far right here, it's busy collecting my typing patterns. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So I'm just gonna sign up for the thing right now. It seems like it's disconnected from the server. Because this normally happens because this application I opened it for a very long time, not presenting. So like after a long period of time, it just crashes. Yeah, sorry. So when you sign up an account, let me just sign up an account right now. limit25@gmail.com. So the typing DNA that's behind the software is busy recording my typing pattern. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. What's happening now? It seems like it crashed again.
Perhaps you could explain what you're expecting it to do.
No, so like after I sign up, I'm supposed to get into
Sorry, that's time. That's time. So what we'll do is we will just allocate that to the Q&A portion, and you can then continue with your explanation. Thank you.
And can I please get more time to present the app?
Judges, please make a call.
I would prefer we hear more about the app. This is not a good place to debug code.
So which one is it? Are we moving into Q&A or are we? Which? Okay.
I think an explanation would be much more productive. Yes, please, in Q&A.
All right, let's go. So I think the first question was just for you to explain what you are expecting to see and how your application works. And from that judge's understanding, maybe a few more questions will arise that you'll then be able to explain. So cool, take it away.
So should I continue presenting or should I answer the question?
Answer the question.
Also, like after the user sign up, the typing DNA that's behind the software is going to collect the typing patterns that the user type. So after that, when the user wants to log in, the typing DNA is going to refer to the typing pattern that he typed. So like if the typing pattern is not matching like the last time he was typing, it's not going to let that person to log in. But if it matches, it's going to take him to that page where like he will need to stream his face, to authenticate with his face. So like after he authenticates with his face, the app is going to take him to the app is going to take him to his account. So like I also built this chatbot on the site that can help random users to. Is my time up?
No.
So it can help these random users to learn more about cybersecurity. You can even use this chatbot to identify whether a URL is a phishing URL or a safe one.
All right. Is that the end of the explanation? We've got another question from 2 judges that could really help you out. So we'll take the questions. Sean, let's hear your question.
Yeah, thanks, guys. So is that typing pattern thing a JavaScript library that you've implemented, or did you build that?
On the typing DNA one, yeah, it has JavaScript on the back end.
Okay. Has that answered your question? Perfect. Nathan, you had your hand up next.
Sorry, man. I just want to understand. So is this now the multi-factor authentication on a website?
Yes, this is both typing biometrics and in your face.
Okay,
Like
but on a remote site, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. How do you deal with things like network latency with me, changing devices, maybe using a different type of keyboard, a UK keyboard, or maybe me using my phone? And also, how do you deal with things like safe passwords within the browser, etc., where there's no typing mechanism?
So like when you try to log in, you have to type at a certain speed where like the way you sign up. If you type fast when you sign up, you have to type fast when you log in again. Because if you type slow, the app won't allow you to log in into your account.
But if I change devices, like if I'm logging into my account from my mobile phone and not my laptop, or if the connectivity is bad and as fast as I'm typing, like maybe it's not coming in on that side, or if I, my password saved in my browser, that's not going to work, right? I'm just asking, unless maybe you can answer that.
Yeah, sometimes it does work, sometimes it doesn't. Because
okay, thanks.
Thank you.
No, I hear you.
That we've got time.
Dave?
Okay. Yeah, we've got time. Squeeze in one more question.
Cool. Yeah, what I wanted to ask is, I think maybe a more technical one, but like, if there's time for two, but what is the output of that typing recognition? Like there, I see there's the picture on the end, it's the typing DNA little graph that gets generated. But is that a number or a score, or like what gets generated there that the computer uses in the background?
Yeah, it just showed you that like when you're typing, it just basically collecting your typing patterns. Just notifies you that like you can be aware that like your typing patterns are busy recorded on the back end.
And is there any way to like bypass it if necessary? Like, if I'm using a password manager where I just click the button to populate the password automatically?
No.
Okay. Thank you.
And that is time. Thank you so much, Team Lemzozo. Wrap up the woos. You did confirm that you are online, so please get your presentation up so that while the judges are wrapping up, you can be ready for your countdown. And while the woos are getting their presentation ready, just Dev, do we have you on the line because you will be going next? If you could please stop sharing, Lemzozo. Thank you so much. So, the woos. The woos, do we have you online?
Yes.
Perfect. All right, so you have checked that your mic is unmuted because we did hear you speaking just now. I can see that your presentation is in presentation mode. So judges, please stand by. This is Team The Woos. So I'm going to count you down. Please get ready to present in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's go.
Hello, my name is Witness Onke. I'm 15 years old. I'm a self-taught programmer living in the Northwest Province. I attended school at the township of Marigua, Habonel Secondary School. So my project title is Access Denied, and the problem that I'm tackling is website phishing. The web phishing is basically when a hacker steals
your confidential information by tricking you into believing you are on a legitimate website. So the reason why my project is all about web phishing is that what I realized in the past few weeks while hacking some of my friends' Facebook account, and also based on the research clearly proved that population of the youth, workers, individuals knows nothing about phishing, neither protecting themselves against it, nor reporting it. I also realized that some people knows a little about phishing, but due to tricky fake webs, they can't differentiate whether they are on a legitimate website or not. Solution Our solution is an Android application where individual can detect web hosts, validate website link, generate strong password, and also chat with our chatbot for guidance and better explanation on phishing. Web detection is important in situations where you have two identical websites but different hosts. For instance, you can have two domains for Facebook, one being hosted by Facebook and the other by a hacker. So detecting the host will help in validating whether the domain is being hosted by the right company, person, or not. Link validation is important for just when the website just whether the website you own is a legit website or not. And for that, our app validate phishing links based on length and some of the phishing links characters. Basically, the characters found in phishing links, like the double slashes redirecting to another website, the dash and the @ character, and number of full stop in the link, and etc. Allowing users to generate password, we allow them to protect their identity on social medias and also on the internet. And lastly, the chatbot, because based on my experience and research, most of the individuals knows nothing about phishing, and the chatbot knows nothing about phishing, so the chatbot will act as a teacher or also as a guide to individuals on how to protect their confidential information from the hackers. So I basically use Java Net API for host detection, functions like if-else statements, contain string function, and contain string functions for link validation and password generation. And lastly, I use BrainShop.ai for backend as our chatbot. So let's take a quick review at our demo. So over here the app detected over here the app detected that the link provided on the edit text is fake due to the HTTPS string provided after the HTTP. And for the password generator, the system detected that the password is weak because it's less than the length of 10, and also it doesn't include any special characters or numbers. And when you look at this password, the length is greater than 10. It contains of special characters and also number, and that's the reason why our system detects that the password is 100% strong. And looking at our chatbot, no,
And that is time. Do we move to Q&A, or do you still need a minute to go through the demo?
I still want to go through the demo.
That will be 1 minute that's allocated. You can continue.
Okay. This is the host detection activity, and the link, the domain provided is PayPal, and so we provided a link called localhost detector, localhost.8080, and our system detected that it's not a valid URL on the stream provided down below.
And that is time. So we are going to move on to the Q&A now. Judges, do you have any questions? Thank you, Sean. Take it away.
Yeah, great. Just a quick one. So I saw briefly in the demo that you were doing a who is on the domain. So you were getting like certain domain kind of meta information. But are you checking SSL certificates or anything like that?
I think you've muted yourself.
I said, can you repeat the question?
Are you checking if the SSL certificate is valid?
For host detection?
Yes.
No, I'm actually using the JavaNet API to detect the host IP address and also the person hosting the domain with it.
Does that answer your question, Sean?
Yes, thanks, guys.
All right. Dane, you have a question?
Yeah, I wanted to ask you, so you said that you have like if statements and that. Do you have a list of domains that are valid that you would say yes to? Or like how does that work?
So we got a web phishing features description from the UCI, and they provided us with like string characters and the length of the links, string characters found in phishing links, and also the length of the phishing links. So with the if-else statement, we actually detect the length of the phishing links and also detect whether the link contain those characters with a contain string or contain character function.
Okay,
right.
Thanks.
Thank you for that. We have time to squeeze one more question in if there is a judge that has a question.
I have a small one at the end.
Mm-hmm.
I love the lookup with a chatbot and everything. How do you ensure that your application has not been changed such that the chatbot is not giving the right information or advice?
So the chatbot is actually up to users. It's actually depend on what kind of question the users ask for. Like if you ask how to protect my identity or ask question related to phishing and hacking, it will provide correct answers. But if you ask something useless, it won't provide right answers.
Where does it get that data that it uses to build the answer?
What?
Oh, we're out of time.
And that is time. So, sorry, we will not be able to answer that question for fairness for the rest of the teams that were allocated the same time. I'm going to do a call now for 2 teams that we have remaining. Thank you so much, Team The Woos, for that presentation. You can stop sharing. Thank you very much. I'm going to do a call out for 2 teams that we've called before, and unfortunately, if you do not answer to this team call, unfortunately, you will be disqualified. So, Team Just Dev, do we have you on the line? Team Just Dev, do we have you on the line? All right. Unfortunately, we will have to move on. I will ask the next team. Team Dinos or Dino, are you guys on the line?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. Are you from Team Dinos or Team Dino?
Yeah, Team Dino, yes.
Perfect. So you are actually the last team that will be presenting from the hackathon perspective before we move on to CTF. So please get your presentation ready while the judges finalize the previous team's judging, and
Okay.
I will count you down.
Okay, please give me a second to...
Is everything okay?
Sorry, I'll just like to say I have a problem with my internet. So the message might be delayed a little bit.
All right, that's fine. We'll string it together. Please put your presentation on the line.
Okay, let me share my screen. Okay, so I sadly didn't get a chance to finish my slide. I was a bit short-staffed, but yeah.
Okay, wait. Let me count you down. You can start presenting in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
Yes, so this is Team Dino. The problem that we are trying to solve is user security and malware detection on mobile users' phone. So this or use case we can apply to this is a use case whereby we now need to be able to verify a user's identity quicker than we could before by finding new ways, finding new methods we could apply. So the project I came up with is actually using some of the leading libraries in machine learning, some of the state-of-the-art algorithms and models to come up with a authentication system whereby we use video and audio to authenticate the user. So this will help by reducing the time it takes to authenticate a user, and it will also help by bettering the whole system, really making it in such a way that you don't have to enter your password. You don't have to keep track of, all the passwords and all the lockers or things that use. So we'll use video and audio to detect your face and to detect your, well, not only your face, but also your background and the audio that's getting streamed through the video. So here what you see on your screen currently is a illustration of such a model. So this will basically be a whole ensemble of models that and I will briefly discuss some of these models that we plan on using. So this one here is a video model. So I have ran a Colab notebook here. So I won't run it this time because it might take a while. But let me try to zoom out a little bit. Okay, where is it? So this is an example of how the video will run. Okay, I can't seem to find the right collab, but I'll just skip that for now. So this is another part of our program whereby we will now be able to share the users, well, to so we're doing a video authentication system, right? And then after this authentication process, we'll then be required to somehow check for malware. So let's say the user is sending something to our system. We will have to take the file that's being sent, the files, and also as well check the files on the Android device to see if any other incidences happened. Maybe they got malware, or they got the ransomware virus or Trojan horse. And then how we're going to do that is we have a machine, well, yeah, it's also machine learning, a mobile verification toolkit that does forensics on the state of your files. So we'll basically run this in the background, and it will be a automated process, self-supervised. And the reason we want to go with self-supervised is so that the program can basically learn trends and basically decipher on its own. And hopefully by doing this, by actually giving the program the ability to figure out what's wrong and figure out what's not in place, we can hopefully find other solutions that we never thought of. So basically the whole the strength of the project is the fact that all these models that you see here, like this video prediction one, that I sadly can't run for you right now, but and the next part, the video, which is this part over here, which is Suma. So this is where now we actually run through your phone and we see what is out of place. We detect antiviruses doing that. So as you can see, this is my Android device that's connected over here. And the Android device, we were able to go, download all your APK files that are on there.
And that is time.
Okay.
So do we move to Q&A?
Can I get just a little bit more time to sort of wrap up?
Judges, 1 minute, is that okay? All right, take it away.
Okay, yes. So this is the second stage of our program where we then do the APK scanning. And then after something has been detected, we will then be able to automatically, it's up to you whether you set the option to automatically get rid of anything that's remotely found to be malicious. Like here, so this is the results that you get now, whereby everything tells you if something is found. Like in this case, there's something wrong there. So I probably need to go and look at my phone and see what to delete. But now in the version we'll offer to the public, it will be a simple click button prompt that will come to the user, and we will then be able to detect malicious software and get rid of it and help you.
Okay, that is time.
Okay.
We will now move on to Q&A. Judges, do you have questions?
How does it address fileless malware?
How does?
It addresses fileless malware.
Bit addresses?
Yes.
What do you mean by bit addresses exactly?
How does it addresses fileless malware?
Oh, okay. How does it address it? So it will address it by being able to pinpoint it and also be able to remove it from the user. So since this will now be a machine learning model that is self-supervised, it will be able to learn new malware that comes out, because people are always coding these things and they're always making new things. So by learning the trends of all these softwares that it's been detecting along the way, we can then be able to predict more that are to come and delete them in that way.
All right. Thank you for that. Sean, I see you have a question.
Yeah, thanks, guys. So there's been quite a few apps recently that do like selfie-based authentication, right? So you do your selfie. Is there any added benefit to doing a video? Is it part of the proof?
Yes, there is. There is added benefit because now when you have a video, you have more frames to look through to make sure that this user is who they say they are. And the one that you saw, the one that I wanted to show you there is that with this, now that I have maybe 1,000, 100 pictures to go through, I can be able to detect whether it's a fake person or it's a real person, firstly, because there's also Photoshop where people, Photoshop your face onto some background there. We can detect whether the picture was tampered with. We can also detect the surroundings and actually get a feel of what's usually behind you. What are we usually detecting behind you? And to emphasize the fact that it's self-supervised, so it actually comes up with its own laws, with its own rules on each individual instance. So it might even come up with a whole new criteria that it's trying to match to see if it's if you are valid or not. And we have to give it video so that it has a lot of data to read through, more information that it can read through.
Thank you for that. Dane, we've got one more question that we can squeeze in.
Cool. I just want to ask, so you have two ideas here, right? There's the authentication mechanism and then there's vulnerability scanning that you're talking about afterwards.
Yes.
Is it that the person needs to authenticate as themselves in order to do a vulnerability scan on their device? Or why are these two ideas related?
So these two ideas are related. So basically here, what we were trying to achieve is we're trying to get the user's phone in a safe place. So we saw that people can put in malicious applications or send you something. Maybe you're streaming online and you happen to download an app with the virus, and this app so happens to, send your files through to the other side and encrypts your files or makes it a shortcut virus. So the reason we're doing this sort of authentication is to try and block these ways, all the possible ways. And another way, the reason we also introduced the video recognition was so that we can block the whole thing off now.
Sorry, guys, that is time. Unfortunately, we cannot take any more questions. Nathan, I did see that you had one. Thank you, guys. So I think that is all the groups that we had that are presenting solutions, and that was really amazing to see. Thank you so much. Nathan, I'm really glad to see you are still here, though, because I'm now going to hand over to you just to take us through some of the CTF presentations. I think although we all saw that it was very active, you were very much more involved and have more visibility of, I guess, the teams and the types of presentations that they'll be doing. So I'll hand over the next component of the presentations to you, and you can take us through that with those participants. Thank you.
Thank you. Can you guys hear me, by the way?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, perfect. Thank you so much for that. You know, it's really going to be the participants who take it through. But I just want to thank everybody who attended. I was extremely impressed. We ended up with 10 people. You know, today some people did take part in both. Just a quick breakdown of what happened. You know, yesterday it was a simple Caesar cipher. There was a link embedded in an image. You got into the classroom, and we did some training on using Google and reconnaissance and Google hacking, etc., and finding IPs on the internet, just footprinting, those kinds of things. And then we broke into some of the exploitation, where the guys got to hack a box with, vulnerable to command injection. So we had a custom CLI. What happened is the guys then took the code from the CLI and decided that they wanted to fix it. And they also wanted to take the code from the CLI and do something useful with it this morning, especially since everybody was presenting. I said, fantastic. You guys put something together and you present it to everybody, and let's see what you come up with. So that's the presentation you guys are going to be seeing today. They fixed up some seriously vulnerable code, and they changed its application and made it a little bit more useful. and it was restricted to to a CLI interface. So I'm quite excited to see what they came up with.
All right. Okay, thanks a lot, Nishan. This is McDonald from the CTF team. We are a bunch of newbie white hackers. Most of us have less than 24 hours of hacking experience. And we have been assembled from across the universe. And today we have the pleasure of presenting a vulnerability solution that tool that we are pleased to present to you guys today. Our tool is based on the current report that we came across, the one that is on that was on the presentation just now. It's from the Joint Cybersecurity Advisory Commission from the United States. It lists the top routinely exploited vulnerabilities found across the cyber world. So essentially, the 4 of the most targeted vulnerabilities that we found in 2020 and 2021. So this report is as recent as July of this year. So the top 4 targeted vulnerabilities that we found were those based on remote work tools, VPNs, and cloud-based technologies. And most of these were found not to actually have been patched even after being exposed as far back as 2017. So listed that on the list that was there, you found that there were vendors that were listed like Microsoft and Drupal and all that. So our tool essentially is being presented here because most commercially available vulnerability scanners are pretty much expensive and non-affordable to most startups and newbie application developers like most of us here today. So we are presenting an open source and free alternative solution that pretty much anybody can use as of today. So it's already in beta. So essentially what we did is we are using the CVE exploits that we documented in the document. We created our own scripts that we then used with the open source Nmap scripting engine. So I will take it over to Kyle that is going to take us through how we went about doing everything.
Hello, I'm Kyle. We've made it very user-friendly. We've provided a very useful help function. We are still in our beta stage. We only have 5 of the top vulnerabilities found, since it is only 3 days ago they've released it. If you try to access one of these, it will prompt you to enter an IP or host. Do you have any suggestions on what we can use? We can use like snowd.com or geekulcha.dev. It should work with any server. And as you can see, we've turned debugging on the Nmap scripting engine server to show the output from our scripts for this demonstration. We have also stopped command line injection and only allow valid inputs. On to my fellow teammates.
What we've created is a very cost-effective tool that runs on the command line, sourcing open source tools. We got Python, and also married that with Nmap to create a command line tool that you can use in your server or your company server or even even your home network, or you can even try it. But we are specifically targeting corporates and small businesses, and we try to make it cost effective and make sure that it gets to the point of finding those vulnerabilities. So if there's a vulnerability in your domain or server, it will show that at the end of the report. As you can see, at snowd.com, we did not find any vulnerabilities So if you can maybe give us another domain to try, otherwise we can just hand it over to the questions. Thank you.
There's only one. There's us. Yes, we are. Yes, we all, the three of us, we're representing the same CTF team. Yes.
The CTF team, which is made of 10 people. Yes. So yes, this is what we've created, a cybersecurity vulnerability scanning tool. And it's in its beta phase at the moment. We're still trying to get all the 10.
All right. Thank
Sorry,
you so
Tiani, I
much.
also thought it'd be cool. Sorry, Katie.
No, you can
I also thought it might be cool for the judges maybe to ask some questions to the CTF challenges. I thought that might be useful too.
Okay, I'm definitely keen for that. Kumo, you have a question. I guess we'll take it and then we'll determine whether or not we can answer it on this platform. And then we'll jump to Steve. So Kumo, what is your question?
I wanted to present but my computer is way too slow. Let me switch on to another computer.
Sorry, this is for
CTFs.
For CTFs.
Yes, I was also working on them.
Oh, okay. Okay, I guess let's give some time for Nathan to deliberate. I think my understanding was that the people who have presented have represented the whole CTF.
Okay.
But in the interim...
yeah, we were all together there.
Yes, that's correct.
Okay, then it's okay then.
Okay, perfect. So I'll hand over then to Steve. And Steve, you have a question. And I guess, guys, this question is open to everybody who is doing the CTF, and I guess the 10 that are being represented by the presentation. So the question that he does ask, if you do want to answer because of the different structure of this conversation, put your hand up and we'll go in the order of that.
Well, I sort of have a question, but I would like to express my state of seriously being impressed at developing a new vulnerability scanning tool over the weekend. So I suspect a little bit of pressure there from Nathan, but kudos to the team for pulling this off. So my question is, given that this is now going to be available as a command line tool, with this bit of scripting and a bit of GUI, do we have the makings of a new vulnerability scanning tool?
Oh yes, indeed. That is the end goal for us. We're starting from the basics, but we're actually looking forward to getting to that stage where we can actually offer something solid as that. Yes.
We are also looking, because there are many options out there, but we're hoping that this can be like a free open source option available for everyone.
Cool. Do we have any more responses from participants?
Yes, and
Let's hear it.
we're also looking into adding predictive analysis tools using particularly Python. I like Python because it's very simple to import the modules and it doesn't do a lot of heavy lifting on the systems. So it's still in the beta phase at the moment, but we are working on something that's going to be highly advanced.
We have a request there to see one of the flags that was captured. Is that something you guys are able to show us?
I think Nathan can.
You guys can show on the command injection. What is the job of the command injection?
Okay. Okay. So what we did here, as you can see on the command line, challenge was pretty much to break the commands. And let's see here. The system is frozen all of a sudden. Let's see. Oops, I left you. McDonald, can you take over?
Okay, that's fine, JT. We'll show it to Sean later.
All right, that's fine. So what's going to happen now is the judges are going to go away and deliberate on the teams that have presented, and we will then be coming back to announce the winners from the hackathon and the CTF as well. So judges into the breakout room, and then participants will stay on the line and we'll engage further. So just give us a second, and the judges will be breaking out soon.
Yes, thanks, T. Sorry about that. But yeah, it'll be great to hear from the Eastern Cape partners and teams. Just to how was the hackathon, how was the presentation for you? And then we'll jump onto the conversation with the rest of the hackers.
Okay, hi guys. Just from our side, it was really exciting to have been part of this hackathon. We obviously hoping this will be the first of many that we'll be partnering together with Geekulcha on. I had the pleasure of actually sort of hack, well, what can you say, mentoring or encouraging the teams together with Usbongile. Say hi, Steve.
Hello, hi there.
And together with Usia.
Hello.
Okay,
Put on light.
so we basically were participating from second office, one of the Eastern Cape partners, and we're just encouraging the rest of the team. So we're part of the team that took part. It was Cyber Ninjas from the Cortex Hub, as well as SciTech from PE. We know there were many other participants as well. I think most of them were just gathering a lot of information and learning. Same with us, we learned a lot from the masterclass. That was very informative. And it also made us aware of the different people within the cybersecurity space that we can actually reach out to learn more in future, because we do have other organizations generally here in the Eastern Cape and East London who I believe would learn a lot from what you guys had to share. We're also looking forward to partnering with the Northern Cape Startup Grind. We saw that there were representatives from, there was a team from Soplaiki University. So we're looking to sort of encourage interactions between, Eastern Cape and Northern Cape, because we feel as though, when it comes to tech and just in general, those are the two provinces that do get sort of forgotten. But funny enough, I think yourselves will also agree that these are the provinces where when the techies are called upon, there's a resounding clarion call, and they actually come in their numbers, as you'd have seen. In our Eastern Cape group, we had almost 40 people in there. And obviously, we want to now reach out to those and make sure that we keep more of these type of activities happening. So from our side, as Startup Grind East London, as IndieWorks, as Second Office, and as Eleglam and Vumali, we will also just be continuing with the same momentum which you guys have now given us. And we just want to actually say thank you so much to all the participating partners, the different universities, the different businesses that got involved. And the message that we want to basically bring across to Geekulcha and the rest of the cybersecurity industry in South Africa is that, the Eastern Cape is open. One of the Second Office mottos actually of saying that the Eastern Cape is open for business, but it's open for tech, it's open for entrepreneurship, and we want to collaborate with you guys more often. Please feel free.
Yes, please, babe.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you guys for that, and definitely looking forward to more collaboration with the Eastern Cape dev tech community. Great things in the pipeline. Back to the hackers, guys. You've presented, you've heard the feedback from the judges. It'll be great to hear. Firstly, what did you guys think about the presentations? Your presentation, other teams' presentations. If you guys any feedback from what you've heard from other teams, your team, feedback from the judges. The mic is free. Please unmute if you'd like to speak. Otherwise, I'll just randomly pick names as we go. All right. Looks like no one is comfortable talking. McDonald's?
Yes, sir.
Please just give us some feedback in terms of what you think about the presentations, the feedback from the judges. What's your take on that?
Yeah, okay. My feedback is going to be skewed. Was this time around I joined the CTF team, so I'm going to be speaking from the point of view of CTF.
Sorry, I guess it would also be great to hear. I mean, how do you feel about the CTF challenge? How do you feel about the whole experience? And then obviously in terms of, the learning, you can touch on that as well.
Okay, and it was an immense eye-opener for me, especially. So the experience was really great. The exercises were great. The classes were awesome. Nathan is a great guy. Yeah. So we had a lot of fun. We had very great experiences, at least I did. It really opened us up to different new paradigm of development and all that. So we learned a lot on that, and the presentations themselves were awesome as well. We learned a lot, but yes, coming from from a budding white hacker, I couldn't help it when I was going through some of the presentations and thinking, as a white hacker, but I could hack that. I could do that. That one, that's a vulnerability over there. So it changed me. It had changed my mindset so much that I'm actually looking and keeping my eyes out for those kind of things. And I'm looking forward to the next installment of this, and hopefully I'll learn even more then. Yes, thanks.
Awesome stuff. Thanks for that feedback. Please, when you do go hack, do it in a very positive manner. Jerry?
Yes. I think just to first of all, let me thank you, Misho, and the rest of your team for giving us such a great opportunity. You know, I've learned so much. In this past few days. In this past few days alone. You know, those challenges were very daunting, and at some point, you know, you really felt like quitting, but we have an amazing culture of geeks around us, and
it's the geek culture.
Yes, and you know, we were able to get around those problems, and we were able to, you know, we started working as individuals, and eventually we came together as a team.
Nice.
And that was amazing because he made it very difficult for us. He didn't make it easy. He made it very difficult, and that was the fun part. And that's where we learned, and that's where we explored the vulnerabilities. And that's where we learned the new things. And based on the presentations that I saw today, I must say I'm blown away by the talent that's around. That's around us. So I think this is a great opportunity, and I think we are on to a very great tech culture. From our perspective, we tried to hack first, and then after that we had to try to defend. So we were playing both teams. We're in the red and the blue team, and that really changed our perspective in terms of security in the cyber. Thank you.
Interesting. So I'd like to ask this question to anyone who's taken part in other hackathons which are not security related. Did you find that how did you find the switch? You know, from it's not about an innovative solution to it's more on security based. How did you find that kind of switch? Is there anyone? Yes, Jabu.
So the shift was difficult because we are used to creating or coming up with solutions that are more innovative. So to integrate security, it was very challenging because my solution was built around just giving the insights to the users, as it was an application for user education, not so much about collecting the personal information of the user who will be using the application itself. So it was an application meant for educational purposes. So I had to integrate security, whereas I haven't planned or built the application around that space. So it has been really difficult, and I didn't present to the best of my ability as a result.
Do you feel that as much as it was a challenge, that it might help you going forward in terms of how you address other solutions?
Definitely, it was a bit of an eye opener, so that we should always secure by design.
Nice. All right, secure by design. Steve will definitely be happy to hear that It's not something he's just been preaching, but it's actually being applied. Witness, being, I don't know if you are officially, but you can correct me if I'm wrong, being the youngest here, how did you find the experience in terms of the questions the judges were asking you, but also the whole learning experience?
The questions, I couldn't understand them at all, and I also feel like I messed up on the presentation. Like I always feel like I messed up on the presentation.
Or you feel like you messed up on the presentation?
Yeah.
So word from you is do not feel like you messed up. It is a learning curve. So it's definitely a lot of learning, but I think you did pretty well. And, you know, you did sound like you were trying your best in terms of answering the questions. So don't feel bad. Don't feel defeated. Look at it as a process of growing. You know, this is how it starts. You know, from here on, next thing you will be coaching a lot of people on this call and correcting them. So yeah, don't despair. Keep the positive spirit.
Okay, thank you.
Awesome stuff. Anyone else who wants to give us feedback in terms of questions? How did you handle the questions that were being asked by the judges? How did you feel about the questions? If you'd like to speak, please unmute your mic. Oratile. All right. Let me bring in Sia from Elegma Lifestyle. You were going through the channels, you were engaging. Kile Kia Lebucha, do you want to say something?
Hello, sir.
Did you want to say something?
Can you reiterate the question for me?
We just want to find out, how did you feel about the hackathon, the experience, working with a virtual team, and the questions from the judges? Noted, Bernard, go see your hand.
Okay. I think like everything went well. Yeah. I feel like positive with our presentation, and hopefully we are like expecting the good results. Yeah. So yeah, and then on the part of like the security and the CTF. The
CTF.
Yes, well, we got a bit confused because it was too much.
It's too much.
Yeah.
No, it's part of the learning. But as long as you enjoyed, as long as you learned, that is the most important thing.
Yeah, thank you.
Awesome stuff. Bernard.
Thank you, Michelle. Yes, the overall of the hackathon, I can say, compared to other hackathons that I ever attended, this was more like security focused, which I don't want to lie, I've learned a lot, especially from the participants that were presenting their solutions. However, what I actually noted is that most of the teams, I don't know whether because I'm not sure if I'm repeating it for a lot of time, but I think that the best way is again, because I had like other teams that were lacking certain things that they actually needed to put on those solutions to make it much attractive, you know, like things like the cyber criminal and Popeye. I didn't hear a lot about it, including the 27001 standards. As I've started learning about those things, I mean, it's a hackathon about security, and I was quite excited to perhaps maybe if they didn't engage with other with mentors that mentioned this type of the type of services or the type of standards, that's something that I was looking forward to. However, as we are all learning, in different, areas of security, that has actually had a great impact on me, which cybersecurity is actually a great field. However, when you are doing your applications or whatever that you're doing, I mean, just always ensure that, remember, your solution will be used by the users. Like something like hardening the security, I know it's a short time, but think about hardening the security, like making sure that wherever those applications are accessed, there are certain if maybe there is a certain command of checking. I only had one, I think one team, I forgot the name of it, which actually mentioned something about tracking the IP address, because it's very important to get the IP address, to get the to get the device ID that is actually used on that IP address. So, like for an example, you have Instagrams, you have other platforms that would show you if someone attempted to log in on your computer. And least but not least, I mean, each and every the open text boxes, which nowadays we are living in the world of passwords are the most critical things that if a hacker will get hold of that, they will do a lot of things. So I mean, with the complexity of the passwords as well, I'm happy that I heard about that, which I was looking forward to that, including the timeouts of the machines, because you never know, like the person, instead with the team that I was actually mentoring, I mentioned that yes, once the user can be locked out of the system that is being used, it obviously means that now a password reset should be done. But with that being done, there should also be a layer of security that ensures that the characters that are actually entered on that certain application, it takes a complex password. And also, like changing your password, it can be depending on how critical your system is. I mean, you can even be allowed to do the password reset after 7 days if you have to, or maybe after 3 days or 1 day. It is possible if you are working with critical information. Otherwise, I would just encourage that every hackathon, whatever skill that I mean, I don't know much about programming. However, when I see a code, I can recognize what is happening on a code. Also, I encourage that the engagement with the mentors, if someone is saying something, ping them. The insights that you may be getting from that certain individual, it may be more insightful, towards your product that you are developing, including the presentations as well, including the whole GUI, But then, yes, Otherwise, thank you everyone that has, and thank you to all the mentors that took part, all the judges, the comments. I have noted them, and I'm definitely going to be streaming this if it will be available to the public. Thank you very much, guys.
Awesome stuff. So this will definitely be available on YouTube on the Geekulcha channel. So the recording from yesterday, the opening session with the masterclass, is available, and today's presentations are also available on the Geekulcha YouTube channel. Make sure you guys subscribe to the channel. I've always wanted to say that. But thank you for the feedback. We highly appreciate it. So it is a learning curve. There's a lot of things that I think the teams can attest to that it is learning for them. There's a lot of those things that they'll in future go ahead and start applying. Anyone else want to share some feedback?
Yeah, let me say something.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I've learned a lot of skills there. I always didn't love encryptions, but there was a challenge there, and it was nice.
Mm.
And this other guy, they've taught me a lot of stuff. Let me check his name again. McDonald's. Great
Yes.
skills there. Hola. Danko.
Nice one. All right. We've got Eleglam. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing it right. Lifestyle. I know you've been hopping into the different channels. Just seeing everything happen from a distance. What's your impression of the hackathon, being it virtual, and hearing the different teams pitch?
Hello everyone. I hope you're all good. It's been a pretty interesting weekend, and it was awesome. So I last attended the hackathon last year, and it was really a battle. But what I learned this weekend is that working in teams and basically having people that are in your corner really works. As I was watching the teams from Codex Hub, so it was really amazing to see. And yeah, I think it was great. It was a learning curve, especially from the masterclass that we had yesterday.
Yeah,
learned so much in terms of cybersecurity. So yeah, it was great. I'd like to thank Second Office and as well as Startup Grind East London for giving me the opportunity to basically work behind the scenes this time. So yeah, I'm really grateful for that. Thank you, Michelle.
Awesome stuff. So definitely the beginning of more collaborations with everyone. And then, guys, we want to hear, what do you think we need to improve on? Or is there anything in particular you'd want us to improve on, do better? Please do let us know. Yes, sir.
Yes, my sir. Okay. Usually the previous hackathon that I attended, actually, it was my first or second with the visual hackathon. So I was kind of used to, whereby mentors get allocated to different groups, which they are focused on that, where you know that at any time, they can reach you, more like you were having a close communication with them.
Yeah.
Yes. So with that as well, I'm not sure because things change, but more hackathons that you attend, you start to realize that yes, there is actually a room for a change, and also a room for asking questions on next time if there is a certain setting like that, how do you approach it, perhaps as a mentor or perhaps as an individual like that, maybe online right now, trying to reach out to a mentor, because we're all in one platform. And lastly, I think I made it on the comments whereby I said I'm happy that everyone actually followed the theme of the hackathon, and there was no, where anyone is scattered all over the place, not knowing what they're saying. At least it shows that there was a lot of research that has been done and a lot of commitment, and thank you.
All right. I'm about to hand back to Gaitu. I see the judges are here. Sounds interesting. I'm just struggling to put up a link here, but guys, please do look into Slack. And if anyone can post a link, the form, we just need some bit of a feedback form for you guys. Please do look out for the feedback form and give us some feedback. Everything guys have liked, disliked, and feel need for improvement. Otherwise, Gaitu, I will hand back over to you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Michelle. So we're back. The judges were doing a bit of deliberating from the presentations from the team. So how I'm going to handle this is I'm going to hand it over to the judges just to have a say for about a minute or so. So we'll hear from each of the judges. And then from there on, we will announce the best female star that was identified throughout this weekend. And then the other prizes that we will be handing out are first place, second place, and third place from the hackathon, obviously. And then we will also be handing out from the CTF perspective, the fastest learner, and also the challenge winner for CTF, who's the person who would have collected the most flags. So I'll go to the judges just to give us some nice feedback. Well, I don't know if it will be nice, some feedback in terms of what you saw from the teams, some tips that you can maybe give for other hackathons going forward, or just some things that you saw that you really liked. So I think I'll start with you, Steve, because they will be hearing from you more towards the end. So I'll start with you now, and then we'll go to the other judges as well. You're on mute.
That might be my middle name for the last 6 months. Most people seem to say that when they're introducing me, so thank you very much. Seriously, I've only got a few seconds to say this, so I am absolutely blown away by the standard and the thinking and the imagination behind the solutions. I always love it when I learn new stuff and find out about new things, and that has happened. So this is the place to watch the future begin. So one thing I have noticed, and this is, I think, where we all need to come together, there are some absolutely brilliant technical minds presenting. And I cannot question their technical competence because it's actually way beyond me. But to all of you guys who know you are technical, or guys and girls who know that you are technically brilliant, a quick hint. Your brilliance needs to be explained. If you can't make your friends understand you, a crowd of strangers such as myself are going to struggle, because the stories that you are telling with your technical brilliance need to be told. Apart from that, I can't fault a thing I have heard today. It has been spectacular. The energy, the enthusiasm, the determination, and the willingness to fight through the night for this. I salute you all. Thank you.
Thank you so much for that, Steve. I'm just going to keep the ball rolling. Sean, let's hear from you.
No, hey guys, cool. I got to say also, I was completely blown away by all the presentations. Amazing presentations, amazing public speaking, technical skill. I can't believe some of these things were actually done in 2 days. It's unreal. Also having 6-minute presentations is hugely challenging. I can't think of a single instance other than a 2-minute elevator pitch where you're under so much pressure to get the team introduced, why you're doing this, and then what the actual thing is in the end. I found myself like cheering people on, get to the demo. Then time was running out. So it was quite exciting actually watching some of these talks. But yeah, I thought you guys were incredible. I was also just blown away by the technical skill, the presentation skills, and the huge amount of effort that I imagine went into a lot of these things. So thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Some really encouraging words there. We also, I think what we say about hackathons is it really teaches you how to sell yourself, or rather your product. And it really helps you to understand if you're fixing the problem or providing a solution, because you have to quickly be able to say, here's the problem, here's how we're fixing it. And you have to be convincing within a very short space of time. So that's definitely one of the things that we like about hackathons. Lesago, do you have some words that you'd like to share with us?
What can I say? Guys, now I believe in brain power. So you guys have amazed me. I'm amazed. Guys like Witness, how? You're still young, my man. You have a brighter future ahead of you. And other guys, hey, you are so brilliant, guys. What I can say is, you can actually be what you want to be and do anything you want. Just learn how to balance things and push on. The information is already there. But there's nothing you can say is left. So you can be what you want. That's all I have.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Definitely facts that you're sharing there. I'm going to go straight over to Nathan. Some words of encouragement from your side.
I'll put on the camera for this spot.
Nathan, you've been claiming that your camera's not working.
It was bandwidth. It was bandwidth, Katie. So, guys, amazing stuff. More importantly, I had the most amount of fun. Like, I had incredible fun with everybody. I had a great time. So thank you for that. You guys really, really did an amazing job. And it seems like every time I attend a hackathon, you guys just get better and better and better. And I absolutely love it. Enjoy my time. I just want to also, on the flip side of things, take time out to say thank you to the team at Geekulcha, Tiani, Mixo, Katie, Dr. C, everybody. I think the work y'all do is truly honorable, and I applaud you guys for helping us build intellectual capital and help us build our youth and our nation. The other people I want to thank the sponsors, right? I want to thank Sean, everybody from Redshift. I want to thank the guys from Orange Cyber Defense. I want to thank all the guys who gave prizes like Panda and WYs and everybody and Steve for always giving so much of his time, being so dedicated to this cause with all of us. They're really the unsung heroes that sit behind us, and to have guys like you guys on the call and to be part of the organization and the event is just amazing. So thank you, everybody.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for that. It really is like fulfilling, the work that Geekulcha does. You think you're just doing something over a 2-day period, but sometimes you change people's lives and put it on a positive trajectory. So it's definitely worth it. And that's why we are always so excited to see you guys here. So Dane, do you have some words for us as well?
I'll turn on my camera as well just quickly. As I want to just echo what the other people have said as well so far, some of the solutions and ideas that you all have are amazing, and they really do reflect the theme of this event as well as just the general theme of the day, the day and age that we live, and that is that technology helps us solve problems, but also poses some as well. And thinking about creative ways to identify and solve these issues it's an amazing thing that you all have done, and the work that you've been able to pull off in the 2 days that you've had is truly phenomenal. I think that just for the people that want to take these things further, because I think there are some projects that definitely could be, think about how you could integrate it into different platforms that do exist, like your email client or your browser or anything like that. And, think about the end user's experience. But obviously, this is something that you could do given a little bit more time than the 2 days that you've had. Also, thanks to all of the people that have been involved in the organization of this. There's so much going on for such a short amount of time. It's impressive to see everything running as smoothly as it has. You all make it look easy, and we know that it isn't.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for that. So we've actually got a special request. I know that we told everybody to keep their cameras off and their mics unmuted, but we have a birthday that we would like to sing for before we get into the prizes. So Misho, I'm exposing you. I'd like us to all sing a happy birthday to Misho. So everybody unmute, cameras on, and I guess I count us down. 3, 2, 1.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday,
Happy birthday to you. Hip
Hooray! Thank you, guys. Yeah, thank you very much. Highly appreciated.
For sure.
Okay, so I'm really glad that this is a hackathon and not a choir. We do terribly there, but it's what that counts, right? So we're going to get straight into the prizes now. I'm going to hand over to Charlotte, who is going to be presenting the best female star. And I'll take, I guess I don't want to get too much into it, but I think, it's Women's Month. It's the 1st of August. So and in the tech space, we definitely know that we have lots of room for more females, but let me not take away too much of Dr. Charlotte's speech. I'll hand over to you.
Thanks, Geekulcha. Yes, as well as our CEO's birthday, it's the first day of Women's Month. So happy Women's Month to everyone. We are going to be relaunching the Geekulcha Women and Girls in STEM initiative this month. Riketetsa. Sorry for butchering that. I'm going to post in the chat in case you can't hear what I was saying there. Please do follow us on Twitter to find out what we have in store. We've got lots of new programs planned. So yeah, please give us a follow if you're not following us already. Yeah, we always want to make our hackathons feel as inclusive as possible. It's been so great to see so many brilliant female participants at SafeHack this year. And unfortunately, we only have one award to give out at this time, but thank you to all the women who took part. You were all stars. So without further ado, the winner of the Best Female Star Prize, who will receive a training course from WWISE valued at 9,500 Rand, is Michelle Maka. So congratulations, Michelle.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Okay, great stuff. So thank you for that. I think you guys will find out some more information about Riketetsa, but as Dr. Charlotte has said, it's something that's really geared towards empowering female in the tech space and in STEM holistically. And as much as we're saying we need to get more females or women in the space, the gents that are already here can do a lot to boost that as well, because one day you guys are going to be the decision makers, and these are the types of considerations that you guys must be making. So I'm going to hand over to Steve. Steve's been with us throughout the weekend, and he will be doing the prizes for everything. So Steve, let me hand over to you.
Thank you so much, Timmy. And I have to admit, this is actually the part that I enjoy the most, and I am really privileged and grateful to be allowed to do this. So I hope I'm not going to murder too many names. Any mispronunciations, I'm afraid, are entirely down to reader error. Okay. Anyway, we have a long list. It's been a spectacular weekend. A lot of effort and a lot of reward. So we are starting off. We already heard how brilliant the team that took part in Capture the Flag were. And I think they're starting a new open source tool that's going to take on the world. But they came to take part in a challenge. And that challenge had 2 major prizes. So I'm not sure if this is good or bad, because it implies the biggest change, but the fastest learner, which means the person who was noticed doing significantly better at the end, far more than he started with.
Steve? Sorry,
Yes.
I'd just like to interrupt you. Diani's made a request, apparently, that you check WhatsApp. I think he's got a bit of details that he has about the prizes for you. I think that he might have sent.
Okay, thank you. I'm actually reading from that list. So I was going to take responsibility for the mistakes, but T?
I think right at the bottom.
Okay, so we have, before we get any further, our future Geek Star. A challenge to choose as much as it was a challenge to actually be spotted and seen and to put your talent onto the mix. So, starting off, our future Geek Star for this hackathon, most promising and capable geek that has been seen so far is Witness. And I hope you are here to listen, Witness. Well done. And sorry, you're absolutely right. I was reading from T's list. I had not noticed he's still sending me messages. I am obviously not a multitasker. Okay, that's also cool. Thanks. Okay, I'm going back to your list, T. So if you want me to change it again, shout now. Okay, we were getting to the fastest learner in the Capture the Flag challenge. And the winner of the fastest learner award is Jerry Monyoko.
Thank you, it's Jerry Maniello. Thank you.
Oh, Jerry Maniello. Okay, my pronunciation, but I didn't write it. Thank you, Jerry.
Thank you. It's all right.
Okay, now we move up here. So, yeah, I can see why I was nominated here as most likely to save everybody else from embarrassment. So I'll happily go for that award myself. But the Capture the Flag winner is Kyle Mayo. So this is someone I am not ever going to give my IP address to. Kyle, well done. So we now come on to the big ticket prizes, the actual Geekulcha SafeHack 2021 awards. And thank you so much for all of our sponsors that have put so much effort and money into these awards. We're going to start off traditionally in third place with an award of 3,000 Rand. And that is Team Dino. I think Team Dino is one person, so they're going to have a really good evening tonight. Well done.
Thank you.
Second prize is a 6,000 Rand award, which also includes Panda security licenses per member, is Goat One. Well done, absolutely brilliant. And now, the moment you have all been waiting for, myself included, with a 15,000 Rand prize. And I'm hoping that was a drum roll, not someone with a machine gun. That was scary.
Was a drum roll.
With a drum roll. Thank you. I won't duck. All right. So the first prize for SafeHack 2021, 15,000 Rand prize, including Panda security licenses, goes to the Cyber Ninjas. Well-deserved award.
Yeah.
And I think with a reception like that, we need an acceptance speech.
Whoa, well done, guys.
Bad acceptance speech.
Getting ready for that acceptance speech.
I'm not sure who is talking.
No, I can see. I can see them. They're scrambling to get connected.
I see them.
There you go.
Yes.
Hello.
Hello, Cyber Ninjas.
Hi. Thank you. Thanks to everyone involved in the competition. This was really fun. I really enjoyed it. Working with like-minded people against the clock and pulling an all-nighter.
Yes, show your face.
Yeah, Little Gutle should say something. Yeah, there she is. Our remote member.
Yeah, thank you guys. I don't even know how long it has been. I guess it's worth all the hours of no sleeping, interacting. I don't even know what to say. I thought I would know what to say if we do win, but now I don't know. But I'm so thankful. Yeah. I don't know honestly, Rahim.
Oh no, late. Oh,
Letu.
Hey guys, thank you very much for making my first experience fun. I really enjoyed it.
So thank you for the event, guys. It was a learning experience for some of us. This was my first time dealing with anything related to cybersecurity. I got a bit nervous at the end, but just want to thank the team also, for pulling through and carrying, the flag, and we made it across the finish line. Thank you, guys.
Yeah, also a funny story. We actually had issues with the code, like right before the presentation. It started not working, and we were panicking. We were already submitted in time, and now the code is giving us issues. But you know what? We survived, man, guys. And I was worried because we were very nervous during the presentation, and we thought we missed the most important points. But thank you.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you so much, guys. It's really exciting to see you guys this excited. I think it's really everybody's tired. There hasn't been much sleep throughout the weekend, but you guys gave us a huge spike of energy right now. So thank you for that as well. So everybody, please stay on the line. We're just going to get a bit of a close off from Sean. But thank you so much to you guys. Thank you so much to our partners and sponsors. Thank you so much to the mentors. Thank you to the judges. And happy birthday to our CEO. I'm going to hand over to you, Sean, and you can give us some closing remarks.
Yeah, thanks again, guys. I think everybody's said most of what needs to be said already, but I'll just reiterate, thanks to the organizers, thanks to everybody that participated and spent your time. Big congratulations to the winners. I was cheering for you guys as you were screaming as well. I think events like this are so great because it does multiple things, right? It teaches you new skills very, very rapidly. Gives you an opportunity to connect with colleagues, to connect with industry. I can think of few 2-day events where you learn so much and get so much out of it. I just encourage everybody to, carry on with the research that you've done. I was talking to the fellow judges, and all of us agreed that every project was way too short. We got to the 6 minutes, and I was like, well, I want to hear more about this. I want to see what the next proof of concept looks like. I want to see, where that goes and how it can succeed. So don't forget the feeling. Hopefully you don't work through the evenings again for the next week, but just remember the headway that you've made in these 2 days, and keep going with it. There's potential in every one of these projects. And then maybe just the last thought is, the cybersecurity industry itself is something so relevant today. The skills that you learn and use in cybersecurity apply to any role that you might be, looking to go into out in industry. There's interesting things to do in the defensive side. There's interesting things in the attack side. There's development that needs to happen, and companies that need people to securely develop those things. We're very fortunate in this industry that people are always building apps and making new stuff and building new things, regardless of the company. And the industry needs people that are researching and passionate about security. So it's a highly relevant and lucrative and really powerful industry to be getting into right now. I'm always really excited to see these presentations, because I think of it as the start of a lot of people's journey into the cybersecurity industry, and you never stop learning. Many years down the line, there's new vulnerabilities coming out, new pieces of technology, new things to work with. So you never really get there. You're always kind of striving to learn and understand new stuff, and that's what makes it really dynamic and interesting. But yeah, I'm gonna be quiet now. So thank you, everyone. Thanks for the opportunity. Good luck. Keep going. And looking forward to next year.
Thank you so much. There definitely will be a next year. Guys, please don't forget to fill in the feedback form. We use that to improve our events, and we use that to improve our events. That's what we do with it. And so whether you have positive feedback or, I guess, constructive feedback or negative feedback, please give us that information so that we can make it better. I think all of us are really hoping that next year it will be a physical hack. So let's stay safe, sanitize, wear your masks, do everything that you need to do. I don't want to be controversial, but vaccinate. And yeah, guys, thank you so much. I think as the MC of the event, I can officially declare the event adjourned, but I'll stay on the line in case anybody wants to chat. Thank you, guys. Oh my goodness. Okay.
Get worse soon. That weird feeling after a hackathon where you don't really know what to do with yourself anymore.
Dude, I feel the same way. So usually after a hackathon,